what is called Central London, near the Millennium Bridge. See it right here behind me. And what we're going to try to do here is search the shores for some old treasure, some droppings, maybe some clay pipes, some pottery shards, that kind of a thing. So let's get started. All right, folks, well, I made it to London. I'm really excited to start my metal detecting adventure, but I arrived actually a day early. So I've got a day to kind of kill, thought about what might be fun to do, and decided to try my hand at some mudlarking. Mudlarking. If you're not familiar with mudlarking, I'm going to put up some information about the sport, the hobby. Mudlarking is essentially treasure hunting along the beach shore. Rule number one for mudlarking is it's eyes only. You're not allowed to dig, scrape, or use a metal detector, and even turning over rocks technically requires a permit, which I secured. But as you can see, getting your eyes in, as locals say, still allows you to find some incredible objects. So this picture, for example, the red things in here are not rocks. They're actually roof tiles, many from the medieval period, and some of which were charred by the Great Fire of 1666. You'll want to be on the lookout for pieces of clay pipes, maybe broken stems. There's a lot of broken crockery, pottery in here, much of which could be Roman, shards from Tudor tanks and cups. You'll see a picture here of artifacts that people have found on the Thames mudlarking that are indeed Roman. So let's see how these compare to what we find today. Okay, I don't know quite what time low tide is. I think it was around 7 a.m. It's about 8:39 right now. So I may have missed some of the low tide, but let's see what we have here. Some interesting things right out of the gate. These are stems from clay pipes. I'm pretty sure these are, of course, are broken, and people would just discard these all over the place. So, you know, this is the stem. Let's see if we can find a bowl. There we go, right there. You can just see these stems are all over the place. The ground is littered with them. You know, and this actually, to me, I don't know, this looks like a bone shard. Interesting. Another one. Some broken pottery here. Again, all kind of bones. There's some more right here. Where the ground is just littered with those clay pipe stems. I don't know much about those, but I think, first of all, they were fragile, but they would also clog up with, you know, nicotine, sediment, and when they became clogged, I think the owners would just discard them, almost like a cigarette butt. And I have seen videos where people will find them completely intact with, you know, the stem and the bowl. So far, we haven't found one of those, but interesting. Let's keep going. Some of these pottery pieces, at least I think that's what they are, this would be quite large. Wonder if that's what this is, or was it part of some type of clay plumbing pipe? So in addition to some older trash and pipe stems, you'll see some modern stuff here too along the shoreline here of the Thames. You know, I can see the appeal in this. It's kind of relaxing. You're wandering and there's a lot of ambient noises around you, some boats and stuff, but it's still treasure hunting, and it's amazing how many of those clay pipe stems are here, as well as broken china and pottery shards. So, but I think you have to have a very keen eye to identify something that's out of place. So I think what we're going to do is check this area out here in front of me, this area right here, and we may even venture across the bridge and try that other shoreline. We'll see. I'm gonna give this a try right here. Okay, I'm really enjoying this. This is really cool. I think the tide though is indeed rising, so I'm gonna go ahead and make my way across the bridge here to the other side of the bank and see if it's any different over there. All right, I noticed not only do people drive on the left side of the road here, of course, but they walk on the left side of the road. Ew. Okay, I don't know if you can see it behind me, but I think that is, I want to say London Bridge, but I believe they call it Tower Bridge back there. I'm not 100% sure about that.
Likewise, getting it back.
Well, so far my research has proven to be correct, and that is that the north shore of Millennium Bridge was the better area to mudlark. And while this is quite picturesque, I have yet to even see a pipe stem here. But I'm sure there's some stuff here, so we're going to go up the bank a little further and give it another try. And it appears I made some friends here. They're following me. You know, I've seen several pieces of this, what looks to be like slate, and you know, it has some natural scratches on it, probably from the tide coming in, as do just some of the regular rocks here. So the tide here, of course, rising is going to do some of that, but I don't know. But that, to me, there's several pieces of very flat material that could be, I don't know, could be old slate that topped roofs at one time. I really don't know. I'm just guessing. Still interesting. Well, as the saying goes, the grass is not always greener on the other side, and apparently neither is the mudlarking. I think what we're going to do is one more scan here. If I find anything good, I will film it, and if not, I think we're going to see a little bit of the central London area. So still an enjoyable day. I probably should have mentioned it earlier, but what makes mudlarking the Thames River so unique, it's a tidal river, so the ocean waters affect the height of the river here. So when it's low tide, as you can see behind me, right, there's a lot more ground that is uncovered and that potentially could be washed away, revealing some kind of unique treasure. I have to say, pretty enjoyable, but in some ways similar to metal detecting. Things don't jump in your bag. You have to apply some patience, you have to apply some diligence, and the finds will then reveal themselves. Still fascinating stuff. I mean, just in this short period of time, some of the unique things we've found. You can definitely tell the tide is coming in. I was actually able to walk in front of that yellow cage down there, oh, a good 15-20 feet in front of that thing on the north side of Millennium Beach here, and that water is definitely rising. So I think we're gonna call it a day for at least this morning's adventure. Okay, so I'm going to recap my finds here at the end of the video, but just to complete the day, I finished crossing the bridge. I found a sightseeing tour that took about 2 hours to complete. You hop on a bus, they take you around the town to see some of the local sites in the immediate area. I think the first thing that I saw was St. Paul's Cathedral, and I had to chuckle because right after I passed this, what did I see? I saw a busload of Green Bay Packer fans in town for the NFL game this weekend. And of course, no trip to London would be complete without the traditional photo in front of the red telephone booth. So many wonderful, cool things to see here, so much history. I've been here before, but this trip has really renewed my interest in both the UK and in London. I, of course, got to see the Tower of London, drove by Big Ben so fast I really didn't get a great picture. So many wonderful things to see. Before the recap, I'm going to put up the picture of some of the Roman artifacts that others have found mudlarking for you to compare. So we'll see you on the next video. Again, thanks for watching. All right, so that was a fun day of mudlarking. Let's go over some of the finds. I did manage to find some cool rocks that I'm going to use for my rock paintings. This one here surprised me how light it is. It's very, very light. Almost reminds me of like a lava rock. But first of all, let's go over this. These are what I think are clay pieces of pottery. I have no idea as to their age. This one is a little darker and a little heavier material. Compared to the photo I found online that gives you a little bit of a hint as to these or the origins of these items, this possibly could be older. I don't know. It looks a bit like some of the Roman pottery that's found, but who knows? Here is some china. You can see these have various types of markings or moldings, I should say, okay? And again, no idea as to the age of these. This one caught my attention just because it has like an iridescence to it, almost like a mother of pearl kind of a shine, but yet it's very thin on the back. Same thing here. This one, not sure, compared to some of the pictures of Roman pottery. It does have some paint, very light coat of paint, and it's clay on the back. We did find some glass. You know, anytime you find thicker glass, that's some indication of age. And then, of course, we have our pipe stems. And you know, I've checked all of these to see if there are any markings anywhere on these. I don't really see any. You can supposedly date these either by the markings, but also by the thickness of the holes here. Now, these ones on this bottom row, these have a somewhat of a thicker hole than the ones on the top. So if any of my UK friends have any other information on how to date these, I would love to hear it, but I'm pretty happy with this. You know, for the first time out, with an untrained eye, and I did hit it at low tide, but, you know, it wasn't probably the best low tide. I could have got there slightly earlier. Hey, I'm pretty happy with these finds, so there we go.